Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ladies in Red. And tonight we have my usual co-host, Emma. Oh, there you are. Thank you. Good to see you, Emma. Can you hear me, darling?
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
Yep.
Yes, I can
Oh,
now. Can you hear me?
yeah, can hear you loud and clear. And
Good. Yes, I can hear
tonight
you.
I have the most wonderful young
Good.
lady who, how long have we been friends now, Pinky?
For a good 2 years, maybe.
Easily. And we've been trying to get
2 years.
on the
Nice.
airways. We've finally done it. Brilliant. Our very special guest, Pinky,
Yeah.
all the way from South Africa. And my darling, where do you actually live in South Africa?
In Durban. I live in
Ah,
Durban, South Africa. Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Thank you so much for joining us
KwaZulu. Yes, KwaZulu.
because it is an hour ahead. So, and look how
Mm.
fresh she is. Yep, it's all good. Well, do you
2 hours
know what,
ahead, is it?
guys? I just want to.
Oh, is it? I thought
Oh,
it was.
sorry, we've got a slight bit of lag there. Sorry, Emma.
Alright, sorry.
Right, I just want to recap back to the Brighton game, which myself and Emma went to. And Pinky,
Mm-hmm.
did you get to watch that game?
I did watch it. I have a few thoughts on it.
Okay. Well, would you like as someone who was watching via whatever stream, and also I want to go predominantly how not so much about the tactical side because we're not Sky, BBC, whatever, but how you actually felt about watching that game. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're getting better in set pieces. Like there was a chance in the beginning of the game for Mariona. She passed it low from the corner. Smith got onto it. She should have scored that, but she skied it. And also, we had another corner for McCabe at some point that Stina tried to get onto. So, set pieces are getting better. We just need to score from them more, to be honest with you. And I think we did get away with it because Van Domsela did make good saves. I call it Van Dominance. Like this season she's not
Yes,
as
yes.
dominant as
Yeah.
she was, but I call her Van Dominance because she made that amazing save from I think it was the Camacho shot. She
That's
basically
correct. Yeah,
saved
it
us.
was Camacho. Yes.
She saved us in this
Yeah, she
game,
did. I agree.
and I think there were so many chances. As much as critics were saying that Arsenal were lucky to get a 1-0 goal, 1-0 win, it's like we had good chances. We just didn't put them away. And I think we need to
Yeah,
get
we
rid of
did.
that wastefulness and then we'll be in tip-top shape. But yeah, that's my overall thought on that game.
Yeah. Who injured?
And of
I don't
course,
know.
thank you, Pinky. Thank you so much. And for myself and Emma, we were actually at the game, so
Yeah, we were. We were.
as best as Pinky can appreciate, because I will keep plugging, she's in South Africa, so it's not easy to get over here and watch Arsenal, ladies.
Oh, it's a long way.
But
Long way.
I'm going to be blunt here. For me, I was actually just praying by the end of it, don't concede.
Oh, we was. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was next. But Emma, for you, I'm not going to lie, I actually got quite, well, actually, it's going to sound really weird. I was a bit desperate to have a wee at that point, and I was just like, hurry up. Yeah, I know, sorry. And I was
Right,
like,
you're
hurry up.
forgiven. You're forgiven.
And yeah, thank you. And it was pray, do not concede a goal because I wasn't overly convinced. Emma, how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, when we scored the first goal, it looked like we were dominant start, but then it came very similar to the Aston Villa game, didn't it? In fact, we dominated position. We really failed to clear cut any clear cut chances, and as Pinky says, we were relying on a superb performance in goal from Daphne, which was a superb save from their Spanish striker Camacho, Spanish player Camacho, and yeah, I mean, we did have chances in the second half, but I don't know. Once that 13 minutes came off, I thought, oh no, let's not have another repeat of Brighton. It was thankfully the Brighton players okay, which was good news after. I don't think there's been anything else on her since, but yeah, I mean, we're not. It reminds you of under Jonas where we failed to break down teams with a low block. I'm not saying that Brighton and Villa are teams that tend to play with a low block, but yeah, you could just see it's just got all the talent and all the players. They're just not creating enough and not killing teams off, which ultimately is what wins you league titles.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Mark. What do you mean to not wash my hands? Oh my gosh.
Good to hear you.
Oh, and big up Andreas, because Andreas had something slightly unfortunate today, which I've had as well.
We've all had,
Oh,
yeah,
that
we've all had.
the tooth department. Thank you for coming on the chat. Truly, truly
Yeah.
appreciate that. You'll be on next time. Sorry, Andreas. Yeah, it's so important to see Daphne back to her last season's level. Well, and actually, I did slightly poach this of a lovely young lady called Lottie who does her own show with two other wonderful guys, and I think there's a lot of truth in what they're saying. Daphne's in. We spoke briefly on there, Pinky, but off air. Sorry, but Daphne's injury prone. She's a great goalkeeper, but it's the injuries that are going to be the problem. And I'm now actually thinking, I could well be wrong, but I probably don't think I am actually, that especially in our defensive line, obviously, they're kind of covering her. And she's not on international duty now, is she? Interesting. Yeah, resting allegedly. I think there's a bit more to that, but obviously I can understand clubs, whatever, don't want to say. Anyway, I'm going to brush past that one. Generally, myself, Amar, Andreas, and a couple of others, we meet up afterwards for the game. It's absolutely lovely.
Yes.
But I think, to be fair, Amar, we certainly felt a bit deflated, didn't we, from that game? I know it ended late, and that poor girl from Brighton, we never quite heard. I think, hopefully, she is okay, but we felt deflated, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, we got the 3 points, and that was what was needed, wasn't it? A win and a clean sheet, but
It
ultimately,
was, but it so wasn't convincing.
Oh no, it just wasn't. Sometimes it's good to just get the game over and done with, and not speak of it about too much. And ultimately, that's what happened.
Yeah.
They battled hard till the end. We failed to kill them off, and who knows? Had they got another chance in there at the time, they might have taken it. But ultimately, we did what we had to, and we held on. But going forward, I mean, when you look at what's coming up, especially after the international break, when you got games against Chelsea and Bayern looming large, that doesn't bode well if you're not going to create too much and then ultimately be clinical. You see, so something. Even against Benfica, which we'll probably talk about later on, we needed a couple of we needed a couple of really good moments. Well, 1 or 2 lucky moments to see them off as well. Everyone seems to be creating chances against us, but not being clinical enough. So. Yeah, I mean, going forward, it's something that needs to be, something that needs to be, addressed.
You off, Mark.
No,
Mark's just saying, is she injured? I.e., Daphne. Well, that's an interesting one. I think she's probably been carrying some sort of injury for quite some time, and I'm sorry, I'm going to call it out. Arsenal, you come after me. They do it with the men, do it with the women. We saw it with Daphne. Give them an injection, they'll play if they're fit enough.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, well, Arsenal, come over and we'll have that conversation next. But listen, she's the best we got. We wish her well, and there's no hope for Daphne. But sorry, back on to Thursday 16th, Benfica away, Disney Plus. Go on.
Sorry, before we move on from the Brighton game, I think. As I said, the positive that I took from the Brighton game was those set pieces look better. We just need to score more of them, right?
100%.
But the one thing, well, 2 things, right? Stina, she had so many chances that she should have put away.
Towards the end,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that was. If she put one of those away, we wouldn't have that anxiety that we had in the last 13 minutes injury time, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Katie McCabe, I think we need to have a serious conversation about Katie McCabe. I don't want to scapegoat people. I'm not that kind of fan that likes to point and scapegoat. But oh my word, the way she allowed, I think it's Kiko Seika.
Seika is right. Yeah, Seika.
Seika was running marathons around Katie. I couldn't believe it. There was a part in the first half where Katie McCabe was going down the wing with her, following her, but for some reason she just slows down. And then Van Dominance has to make a save for no reason. The chances that we were conceding were scary, and it was all from Katie McCabe's side. So honestly, that's the last point I wanted to make. It was that Stina being wasteful and Katie McCabe not defending. That's the last thing I wanted to say about that.
No, do you know what, Pinky? That's an interesting concept because, you know, I'm the biggest fan of Stina. Um, and I'm going to give her, in her defence, that she hasn't played enough. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. Bottom line, she's a proper number 9. She's a poacher. Feed her the ball. Next, but that's my opinion. But for Katie, we all love Katie very, very much. She's been well overplayed.
Yeah,
And a bit like myself, knocking on a bit, bless her heart. And we've got this beautiful young girl, Taylor. I'm not displeased with Taylor.
No.
I'm not displeased. Give her more game time. And I'm not dissing Rennie here because obviously she's the one at London Coney or whatever the flipping it is called now.
Yes,
but she's the
London
one there
Coney, yes.
watching her along with the other guys
Yeah.
and what's her face? That's the blonde one. Can't think of her name. But yeah, there are certain other players, and also another one that I'm so pleased, and I know he's a big advocate for her. But Kyra Cooney-Cross, she hasn't disappointed
100%,
us.
100%.
She hasn't disappointed us. Let the girl play.
Like it's
sorry, go on.
Yeah, Kyra Cooney-Cross cemented her start against Benfica through that Brighton game. The way she came on, the way she was pressing, the way she was moving the ball up, that performance made Renee think, okay, you know what? I need to start her. And as much as I want to, like a lot of people have been calling out Renee, saying that she has favorites, which is very true. But the thing that you have to give her credit for is the fact that at least early into the season, she's basically put her hands up and said, okay, I am wrong. The fact that she's now starting Hines and benching Katie McCabe, the fact that she's, I mean, I know the Chloe Kelly, she had an injury, so that really wasn't like a tactical thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that Kyra is still, when she played for Benfica, and I know we're going to get to that, she wasn't playing with the sort of like bitterness or anger. Because let's not forget, when most managers have players that fall out and they have like disagreements with managers, the one thing that managers usually do is they'll have an ego and they'll say, oh, how dare you question me? I'm your boss. I'm going to bench you for the next couple of days. And then there's this kind of like tension and negativity. So there must be a way that Renee is speaking to them where she can gain these girls' trust. And that's why even when Kyra wasn't starting against Brighton, there was no bitterness or angriness. Like after she had that, I know there was a video that went round where we could see she was upset. She hasn't done that since. So I'm assuming here, Renee sat down with her and said, listen, this is what we're gonna do. I hear you. Let's discuss this. And since then, the water has come down because that's how easily you can lose a locker room. Look at how quickly Jonas lost the locker room with the Viv Miedema situation.
Yeah.
He lost the locker room so easily. So
it wasn't just with Viv, it was just with the dressing room in general, wasn't it? But yeah, go on.
Do you know what? I'm going to sound like his biggest fan, and I wasn't. I like the geezer. I think and listen, you can agree or disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. But I think Viv will be hard work for any manager, head coach. Sorry, but that's my opinion.
Well, I mean, and
I do see where you're coming from, and I think, to be fair, the girls were very sweet. To be fair, and someone like Katie, oh yeah, he's lovely. Do you know my Steve, my fella, who's not very well at the moment, bless his heart, but he actually said, as far as he used to call him the turnip, which is a bit sad actually, but yeah, I know. But as he said, Jonas would not have won the Champions League.
100% he
Mm.
wouldn't. No, no, he
Mm.
wouldn't. He
And
wouldn't.
I get that. I quite like the geezer, but there was a time
But he
frame
got us to
here.
a couple of
And
semi-finals, which was
probably
good.
the first season, and after that, yeah, it nosedived. And I'm a bit of a sentimental old fool. But yeah, more importantly, yeah, he would not have won. All right, he got a couple of Continental Cup Ties Cups. They're not nice next, but as Des quite rightly pointed out to me, ain't the same as Champions League. And Rennie has achieved that through her players, and that was probably one of the most brilliant games we ever watched.
No, 100%. It's got to be up there with one of the best performances ever, I would say.
Yeah, that was just, yeah,
And
without doubt.
players were playing out of their positions. Like Steph Catley, like I'm not gonna tell my kids that she wasn't a centre back. They would never believe me. They would never believe me.
But
That
she's
performance
fitted in
was insane.
seamlessly. She's fitted in seamlessly into that role, hasn't she? Yeah, she did
Do you
brilliant.
know what? She really is a legend, isn't
She
she?
is. Like all of
She's a
those
great
players.
player. She's a great player.
All of those players. I mean, I was speaking to somebody the other day, and I said, you know what's so strange? We really let go of Amanda Illistead a lot quicker than I would have imagined. Like I don't understand. Like I know she was pregnant and she didn't play for us for time, but I assumed we were going to give her another year because for her
Yeah.
to get back where she was, right? Like the fact that we just let her walk away like that, it's baffling to me. It really is. I don't think we
I
would have predicted the injuries, but still, like, why did we let her go?
Do you know,
Yeah.
it's an interesting one because I was the biggest, because I've been a mum, well, I still am a mum, but had a young child. And I honestly thought she was going to go off and do the mummy thing. Do you know what I mean? And then suddenly, was she playing for now? And I thought, oh. So I know where you're coming from. You might as well kept her at Arsenal a bit longer as
Yeah.
a backup.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, yeah.
I mean,
So I'm
yeah.
not getting that in the whole,
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, I don't think they would have anticipated, for example, the Leah Williamson injury. I don't even think
oh, cool.
they wouldn't have predicted Ruben Moyes' injury and now Katie
Yeah.
Reid having Codina. Like I can give them that grace, but at the same time, you can never be too careful, especially with a club like this. Like we have so many expectations. We have to have a backup plan for the backup plan for that backup plan.
Yeah.
Like we have to have
Yeah.
layers. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, not to diverge too far, but yeah, that's all I have to say.
Sorry, I'm just going to jump in the chat here. Right, our lovely Mark. Maybe the ladies need same competition for places. Yes, they do. They certainly do. And also, Mark saying Odegaard has no option but to get back to his best as Eze and Ethan.
Yeah, that's for the men's chat, isn't
Take
it?
over. We're going to come to the men later because I always like to talk about my boys. Well, no disrespect to Ethan, but listen, Odegaard's still my cat. We're going to come back to that one. Thank you. Do you think Katie is getting pushed with players taking her place? Katie, like I said, a bit like myself, knocking on a wee bit. Fantastic player, but she has been and also international duties. Yeah, she's basically been overplayed, and I think, as we said before, give it to Taylor Hines now. I've just got a really good. She'll do fine next, and well, Serena's going to find that out, isn't she? She's had no disrespect to the lovely reggae girls, but yeah, she's a lioness now. Go and do your stuff. And
yeah,
sorry,
she is a lioness,
Andrea.
even though she's represented.
Yeah, she is. She's back. She's back with her girls. I totally agree with Pinky concerning Katie McCabe. She is a fan favourite. Oh, sorry, I've lost that. Oh, sorry. Hang on. It's because I'm not allowed to do this, so it's a bit annoying. I've just lost Andreas there. He was saying fan favourite. Sorry, I've lost that one.
Yeah.
For me, Amanda Ilstead was overrated. Do you know what? I'm going to go with that, Andreas. She had her moments, but I wasn't overly sad.
Yeah.
I wasn't sentimental with her. I'm going to be honest. Next.
For
She
me,
was only
it's more about
yeah. Okay, I get that totally.
yeah, about Katie McCabe, right? Even in the final, in the Champions League final, I remember sitting there and looking at Katie McCabe and thinking, oh, she's not really on it today. Like She was
Yeah.
really shaky at times. Of all the people in our back line, I saw Fox, Catley, Williamson. McCabe was the
Yeah.
only one where I was like, oh, I'm not really sure if she's on her A game today. I really
I've
don't know.
questioned her. I've questioned her.
Yeah. And again, if it's about competition, then fine. Let her sit it out. Let Taylor Hines lead the way. And honestly, again, we're gonna get to the Benfica game, but the way Hines was playing against Benfica, she was playing like she had a point to prove. And understandably
Of
so,
course.
because of the criticism that she's been under. So that kind of each of these players have their own motivations. Taylor Hines is trying to cement why she deserves to be a lioness and why she should be a lioness. Like there
Yeah.
was I don't have anything against this channel. I actually like their content, but there's this guy that runs the women's football chat channel. He said something very bold. He said that there's no reason why Taylor Hines should be called up. It's clearly Arsenal bias, because she's an Arsenal
Oh,
player.
interesting.
That's why she's getting called up. Whereas there could be so many other players that are coming up. And
Ooh.
honestly, you can say the same thing about pretty much anybody that plays for the top four, like Man United, City, Arsenal, Chelsea. Like, there's a reason why players want to play for those teams. You can say it's biased, you can say it's this, but at the end of the day, that's the incentive for these big clubs. That's why having a big club
Yeah.
is so valuable, so that players want to
Mm.
work hard to get recognized by you because they know the opportunities that come with it. I think even Mark Skinner touched on it in the press conference. He said, well,
Yeah.
Ballon d'Or winners are for players that play for certain teams. And he was obviously referring to the likes of, the fact that Arsenal players, Chelsea players, and City players are
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
the ones that get up there. But my question is, what's wrong with that? Because at the end of the day, it seems like those
Yeah.
teams are the ones that are investing the most in the women's game. And so they've earned
Mm.
their right to be called a big club. And so if
Yeah.
the other teams like
100%.
Liverpool, Everton want to reach that stage, invest more money, take it more seriously, make sure your women get up to that stage. Otherwise, you can't complain.
Sorry,
No,
can I
true.
just jump in there? And whoever this person is, we don't need to know their name. But something I picked up because I'm a big fan of Serena, end of. And also, she was very quick to say that herself and whoever her backroom staff were at the time, because I don't know their names, but they were already monitoring Taylor Hines from Liverpool. And she basically said Arsenal, because she openly admitted she didn't get much game time with Arsenal. And so actually I like the way Serena can be so upfront, because she's had a very good spell for however many years it is with Liverpool. And I thought, yeah, respect to that. Yeah, all right, she now happens to be at Arsenal, which obviously is a bigger club. We know that. Certainly for the women in that section, but yeah, and so once again, people they need to research their facts, don't they, before they
Yeah.
make these public statements.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, can I just come and chat again? Because anybody in the chat, I get very excited. I love to take motivation, can be a massive thing after winning UCL. Has Katie lost the motivation? Well, do you know
I
what,
won't say
Mark?
she's
And I
lost
love
it.
this with
Not
Mark.
sure.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Oh, we'll come
Just
back
to,
to that.
to answer that, I'll answer that quickly.
Yeah, go
There's
on.
there's a video that I saw just weeks before the Champions League final. It was like a compilation. I'll find it and I'll send it
Mm,
on the group,
mm.
and we can maybe play a snippet of it next week.
Yeah, yeah.
But Farah Williams is interviewing Katie McCabe, and she says, "What do you
Yeah.
want to achieve? Either what is the dream achievement? Winning the World Cup with Ireland or winning the Champions League?" And Katie McCabe said
Interesting.
Champions League.
Yeah.
She said Champions League. And I went back to that video after we won, and I was like, oh my gosh, she actually won the Champions League. I wrote it in the comment section. I'm like, wow, she actually won the Champions League. So this comment, Mark, is actually not that far off. It's not crazy to think that maybe she thinks that she's done it all, she's won it all, and now she can just relax, because she did win a league title with Arsenal. She did help lead her country to qualify for the World Cup for the very first time in how many years. So I think in her mind, maybe again, we don't know. Like we'll only see at the end of the season and times to come. But it could be that she doesn't have the motivation because she's achieved everything she wants to achieve. You never know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah, we shall find out at some point. No, that's very, very interesting. Right, okay. So, sorry. So back to the Benfica game away. And once again, Pinky, you was able to watch that, stream it, on whatever you stream it on. Yeah. I was able to stream that. Amal, did you watch the game?
I watched the last 10 minutes. I was actually out volunteering at an event, so I caught the last 10 minutes. But yeah, it was one of those games again.
Absolutely fine. Well, do you know what? Once again, it was a game of two halves, first and second half. The first half was okay, not exactly that excited. And it's a 60. Well, this is where Rene's good, and maybe everything's just starting to come back together again. But that 60-minute near enough well, it was the substitutions because Bethany, and we'll come back to Beth in a sec. She scored in the 57th minute, and I couldn't tell exactly when I looked this stuff up afterwards. I wasn't overly impressed with her, but you guys can tell me what you thought of her. And then suddenly the 60-minute odd substitution, sorry, Pinky, but you know I'm a huge fan of Stina. Between Stina and even more importantly, Chloe Kelly, suddenly it opened up. No, I'm not going to bang on about it now. Not that I dislike Chloe Kelly, but I probably wasn't her biggest fan. But since she come to Arsenal or back with the fold, I'm a huge fan. And
100%.
Yeah, she's got it. And,
she's got that X factor about, hasn't she?
I'm a huge fan of Stina as well. Like I can be critical of players sometimes, but not because I don't like them, because I know what they're capable of. And
that's the best of us when we actually really like a player, but equally we can be critical. We absolutely.
Yeah.
But sorry, guys. Emma, all right, you saw the last 10 minutes, but you were probably like the rest of us. If you can't, for whatever reasons, actually watch it, you'll keep an eye on the.
Yeah, of course, I was following it on the text commentary. That's right.
Yeah. So, on the whole, with Benfica, what did you take away from it?
Well, I mean, they're a good side, aren't they? They're an improving side. You can tell it's in a difficult place to go. You know, they made it difficult for the strong teams in the past, isn't it? And ultimately, it went down to a mistake in the defence. Yet again, from like it has been case has been so often. Look what happened against Villa, mistake in their defence, an own goal from Brighton. It's becoming a bit of a familiar pattern, isn't it? And then a mistake in the Benfica defence allows Beth to just nip in and score the first goal to just calm any nerves. And yeah, I mean, they had the one or two chances after that, but then it took again, it only relied on a piece of genius thinking from Chloe Kelly to find Leslie to finish it off. But yeah, it's like it's becoming. They're a good side. It was difficult. Even their boss talked about it on the game on Disney Plus after. Yeah, they have to learn from it and get better because they were in that game for long periods, and we didn't kill it off right towards the end. So a win's a win, another clean sheet. But again, it's familiar problems, isn't it?
Yeah, get that. And Pinky, okay, what did you take away watching it on the stream? Just generally.
Sorry, I'm getting a notification
that
my connection is
sorry. Just generally, what did you take away from that Champions League game?
Okay, well, first of all, I find it funny that before Beth Mead scored, right? I don't know which commentators you had, but the commentators were talking about, they were literally saying, are Arsenal feeling the pressure of being champions and defending it? That's funny. I found that so funny. But at the same time, I don't think that Beth Mead goal was accidental at all or like lucky by any means, because
it was a mistake,
as much as it was a defensive error, you can't get yourself into these positions if you're not in those spaces, right? Like
True.
I've seen us trying to manufacture cute chances, cute passes, and get a clear shot on goal. But sometimes just being in the box, being in that space,
Yeah,
a
true.
ball can ricochet anywhere and find its way in the back of the net. I know Beth Mead, she was on the ground and she kicked in and she went in, but that just shows how hungry she was for that goal. And
True.
that's why somebody mentioned about competition. That is why competition is so important, because like I think in like I wrote down here, like in the 18th minute and the 21st minute, and sometime Beth Mead was putting pressure on, I think her name is Lena Paulies. I don't know how to pronounce
Probably.
the surname, but I know her
Probably.
name is Lena. She was putting pressure on Benfica. She was in the box, in their faces, in their spaces. And so it's not surprising that she got the goal and she fought for it, right? Also, Van Dominance made a few saves.
Yeah.
There was a point where she prevented a corner, which was very crucial because at that
Yeah.
point the
Right.
momentum was kind of building in Benfica's direction. And also there was a corner that we took. Ruben Moy got her head to it, but again, off target. If that was on target, it would have found the back of the net because it would have beaten the keeper, in my opinion. Van Dominance also made a good save. A ball was coming into her near post. She just taps it gently out. Otherwise, it would have probably ricocheted off the post and gone into the net. So great work again from Van Dominance. So that goal that Beth Mead eventually scored, like it was coming. She wanted it more than anybody on that pitch, right? It wasn't a pretty goal, but again, a goal is a goal is a goal, right? So who really cares, right?
Yeah.
And as you said, I came on, but again, not to be critical, like she did change the energy. There was more of a purpose and a more of a attacking a threat in that sense. But there were still moments where I feel like Stina could have done so much better on the ball. Like there were times where, honestly, I could be wrong. I really could be, but I can't remember her trying to dribble past any of the defenders. She would kind of just move in, and then once she lost position, she would just run back. It's like usually you would try to drop your shoulder or do something. Like I didn't see that kind of energy from her.
Do you
And
know
then
what? Can I just stop you there, Pinky? And I know I'm just going to say I can't speak badly of her, but she wasn't. You're quite right. She wasn't having her best game, and bless her heart. Let's be blunt. She's like a shy horse, isn't she? She ain't a filly like a Lessie, Lessie Russo, where she charges in. But that's what's good about her. She'll break up. She'll break that defense. They don't know what's coming at them, and she wasn't herself. But who knows? Who knows? We hope that was just a little glitch, because normally she can be the super sub, but it certainly wasn't happening. It weren't our state.
In cup tournaments, I will say this, like it's a beautiful thing, but also a frustrating thing about Stina Blackstenius.
Oh yeah.
When it matters the most, she will turn up. We saw it in the semi-final against Man City for the Conti Cup. We saw it in the final of the Conti Cup when she scored against Chelsea.
Yes, that's right.
For some reason, when it matters the most, Stina is just like she's on it.
Yeah,
Champions League final.
Yes.
She I don't know what it is, but if it's like a group stage game of a Champions League, a group stage, a league game against Brighton or something, she's gone. It's like it's so frustrating because it's like we know what you're capable of. You've done it on the biggest stages. You've done it for Sweden. You've done it for Arsenal in these finals. But like, can you just all Renee's key phrase these days is consistency. Consistent.
Yes.
And it's like
that's a good word. It's a good word. It's
a very good one.
All the things, like if I look at Stina, I'm like, honey, please, just like be consistent. Like it's crazy, but
it's
like
a difficult skill. It's a skill.
Yeah.
It's a difficult skill.
Oh, sorry. Can I just jump in again? We've got some. Andreas was saying KCC will make her mark and prove that she should be. Do you know what? You're right, Andreas. She has proven that. She has, and I always knew there was a player there. I can't give you technicalities. I ain't managing the club next. I talk shit next. But I knew there was a player there. Yeah, and I totally believe in her. And yeah, you're in the shop window. Advertise your wares, girl, because you're good. Simples. Uh, Oh, sorry, Andreas is probably going backtracking now. A deserved win, but still too many back. Oh, do you know what? Back passes. Yeah, me and Des talked about this. We've seen it with the men as well. Oh my God, those back passes. That does not make for. I'm not a technical person. I don't manage a club or a team next.
No.
But my goodness, back passes. That's so boring. We want to go forward, don't we? Forward. Next.
Yeah, of course, of course,
And then
of course.
Yeah, and too slow build up. In the end, 3 points count. Yeah, well, do you know what? And that takes us back to Chelsea very briefly. Hate saying that word. But my goodness, they'll play dirty, and it can be their 1-0. I shouldn't even say that. That's only ever Arsenal. But they get the 3 points. And that, do you know what? I don't care now.
They always find a way to win.
Come on, women. I don't care how you play. Just get the 3 points. The rest will flow. I truly believe that. The rest will flow.
Yeah.
And Mark saying, thank you, Pinky. Oh, he's just fallen in love with you. Of course he has.
Thank you, Mark.
We all love our Pinky. Right, anyway, enough of that game. Yeah, right. But we won.
Wait, one more thing.
Yeah, go on.
Just about Emily Fox. It's not that serious, is it? I didn't get any
I don't
updates
think
about
so.
that.
I think she was on
No.
She needed. Steph had to go off as well, but I think she was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
both
far
of
as
them.
we're aware, it's okay because we all were like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted to ask because I didn't get much
as
updates
far
on
as
that.
and because she got a nice little rest now, yeah, it should be all good because that excuse me, who takes over from Emily Fox? Next
No one.
Nobody.
I do no more shows if she goes next. I see doom and gloom.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I won't go that far. I won't go that far, Angie. I won't go that far.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Anyway, actually, I'm going to get this bit out of the way very quickly. Via our dear Emerson, Academy news, Arsenal and under 18s goals. Well, basically, Arsenal under 18s lost, but it was a close one, 2-3 to West Bromwich Albion. Arsenal 18s goals, Brando, Bailey, Joseph, and Tashona, Marissa. And then West Bromwich Albion got 3 of them. Okay, and I think they had an unbeaten run up until then, but
Possibly, I don't really follow the under
19s because they're doing kind of like their own version of the Champions League. Correct me if I'm wrong. Atletico Madrid, and that was a 3-4, i.e. 3-4 to Atletico Madrid. And there was I don't know. Oh well, I know Max Dowman, of course, he got 2 penalties, and Harrison. I can't even pronounce his name. But anyway, yeah. But more importantly, young Max Dowman, who is like, woo, and he only wants AFC. He's going to sign a scholarship because he's still only 15. And there's hopefully there will be, because he's not 17 till the 31st of December 2026. I believe I got that right, and
that's right. Yeah, that's about right.
So hopefully, next, So all good, all very good, and he's a very exciting young player, isn't he? Have you managed to watch Max Dowman, Pinky?
Well, yes, when he played for the senior teams, I don't have any broadcastings to the youth teams. In Supersport won't spend money on broadcasting youth teams. I mean, they barely spend money to broadcast the women's games. So I have to rely on illegal streams. Oh, let me not say that. Let me not expose myself on YouTube. But, like the Benfica game, this is criminal, right? And I'm calling Supersport out, right? They'll hear from me. They broadcasted the Real Madrid PSG women. over Arsenal
Oh.
versus Benfica.
What?
Like literally, I had to watch that Benfica game on an illegal stream that was I think a whole minute behind the regular stream. That is
Oh, that's a
criminal.
shame.
And the reason why they did that was because they obviously don't have people researching the women's game to know that PSG and Real Madrid playing together, as interesting as they may sound, they clearly based it off of the men's side. Like PSG men versus Real
Possibly.
Madrid men. That sounds
Possibly.
great. But Benfica and Arsenal should have been the main one. Like I can't believe they did that. I'm mad at that.
Mhm.
But that's the
Yeah.
price you pay when you live in SA, right? So I've
Yeah.
seen Max Alman play against Leeds and Liverpool. That's the, and also the friendly for Newcastle in the beginning in preseason. I saw him there. He was brilliant against Newcastle, but that's pretty much all I've seen from him.
Yeah, that's
Nothing
fine.
more.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him either. To be fair, I only saw the game against Leeds. That was about it. Yeah.
Ange, can I gate crash?
Of course you can, Mark.
First of all, Pinky,
Okay.
sorry, I'll try and adjust my lights. Sorry, I've got my son around. Pinky, thanks for coming on. You were in the chat, and I only noticed like after about 15 minutes into the show, your name, you were in Shots Fired chat, giving us a bit of, you were sending messages in the other day. Yeah. So, Max Diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. So it didn't click with me originally. Max Dingman, guys, I will not say this wholeheartedly or any less. He is better than Messi at 15-year-old, and I am not even kidding. No, I'm
That's a
no,
bold
like I'm being
statement.
serious.
Yeah.
No, I'm being
Oh,
serious.
fair enough.
I'm
Fair
being
enough.
serious.
Fair enough. No,
Like
fair
this
enough,
kid
fair enough.
this kid is an absolute wonder kid. Do you know he played for Arsenal?
Yeah.
He done amazing, and
Yeah.
he video called Declan Rice,
Oh wow.
and he had the
Okay.
school uniform on, walking into school, video calling Declan, FaceTiming Declan
Yeah.
Rice to say, "How are you, bro?" And he's like, "Mate, we were playing football yesterday, like in the Premier League." This kid is phenomenal, but
Yeah.
the way that the Arsenal men's team is, just while Ange just went off, we have so much competition within, like we've got one of the best squads in Europe, if not certainly in the Premier
100%.
League anyway. So
Yeah.
we could rest the likes of Ethan, and we could rest Max Diamond out of the side at this moment and break them in generally. But I'm telling you, see, Max, watch out for that freaking name. I'm telling you, this kid is.
Okay.
I'm not joking you. I'm not kidding.
No, I'm not saying you're joking. I'm not. Yeah.
And nobody has came through our academy this good, this soon. But we have to control it.
Yeah.
That's
one thing.
He's still only 15.
Let's not do a Raheem Sterling, Daniel Sturridge situation.
Exactly. And don't ever swear.
My God, this is on there.
Pinky, never swear at me in a podcast again by mentioning Raheem Sterling.
No, wait.
That is swearing at me. Like I hate him. Just like that's swearing.
And you are justified. And you are justified. Listen, just for context, Mark, I am the only Arsenal fan. I was raised in a household of Liverpool fans. So I was surrounded by Liverpool nonsense my whole life.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I hated Raheem Sterling, Daniel Sturridge, who we don't talk about, by the way. Like he completely fell off. Like he completely fell off. And it's unfortunate because, to be fair, as much as I hated him, he was a decent player, right?
Wait,
but
what are you going to say to
the thing I was
Rotterdam?
mentioning about Raheem, let me not say his name. Let me say he who shall not be named. Is that he was this young prodigy, this young superstar, skyrocketed, and his ego was on the ceiling. And now look where he is now. Let's make sure that we take care of Max Dowman and we keep his head. I believe in the leadership of the men's side, like Declan Rice,
100%.
Odegaard.
100%.
I trust that they will keep him
100%.
humble and they will keep him grounded, because sometimes you can get carried away. I mean, at 15, like you're doing this. Like,
Honestly, it's crazy. I've never been so excited to support the men. And I wish, honestly, I really wish I know more about the women. That's why I tune into like Ange's channel. It's brilliant, Ange, and you guys educate me massively on the women. And I wish if I could like get the games, I honestly I would be watching them. But just to go back to him that should not be named. When we signed him on the final day of that transfer window, I had a meltdown, like the biggest meltdown ever. And I found out that we were paying
I was happy,
£100,000 a week.
Actually.
Yeah, we're paying £100,000 a week to his wages, and I actually said that Arsenal should have gave it to the community, the homeless, and actually £100,000 a week, it would have made a massive difference. And I paid for the most expensive ticket to go down for a Champions League game. PSV, Arsenal were 7-1 up in the first leg. Go down for the second leg. I've already bought my ticket. I paid almost £150. The trip was very expensive. The game was over. I go into the stand in the gods. It was freezing cold in November. Horrible. He's playing. I'm booing him. And I've got Arsenal fans telling me you can't boo an Arsenal player. It's like he's not a freaking Arsenal player. Anyway, the next morning, he actually got man of the match. he actually
got a refund. You got a refund?
No, I didn't get a refund. They should have got one.
Sorry.
That player who shall not be named got man of the match, and I was booing him during the game.
Didn't that game take place in March? Was it November or March?
No, it was November. It was November. It was cold. But I'm sorry, I've taken over with him that should not be named.
Sorry. Can I just jump in here? I've seen someone in the chat here. Who's Rosso Mac 21?
That's Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom, I hope your grand's doing well.
Mr. Tommy? What's he going?
Yeah, that's Mr. Tom. Of course, that's Mr. Hashtag Mark out. Hashtag Pinky in. So, Mr. Tom, I hope your grand's doing well, bro. I hope your grand's doing well.
You need to reveal yourself next. Or maybe not.
Don't ask him. Don't ask him to do that.
Tommy.
That's my mate, that.
Yeah.
Don't ask him.
Going back to the Max Dowman thing, I just wanted to say one thing on the Max Dowman thing. Yes, he's a very exciting prospect, but then look, a few years ago we had this guy called Charlie Patino, who was meant to be the next best thing as well. So we don't really want him to follow down that same path and become the next Patino and disappear from sight either. Yeah, so hopefully Dowman can be a lot better than that.
But do you know what, Emma? Do you know what the difference is? And I've tried to express this on Arsenal Spaces and stuff. See, because of the dressing room and the way that it is now, it's not back in the days where you had bad apples like Aubameyang, Ozil, etc. Now the standard is so freaking high that these kids do not get an option. They have to be grounded. And like these players are there to ground them. So, Mark is correct. It is Mr. Tom.
Of course it is. But I'll say the same thing about Katie Reid, because I was telling I was on another show the other day and I was like, man, if I was 18 years old and I had the captain of England, 2-time European champion, in fact 3-time if you include the Champions League, and she pointed at me and said, that girl is after my shirt. You have any idea how unbearable I would be as a person? I'd be walking around like, the captain of England said that I'm gonna take her shirt one day. That's crazy. So I'm really loving the fact that Leah Williamson has pretty much taken the job and said, I'm gonna look after her. She's gonna be under my wing. That's what I love to see. Because oh my word, I promise you, if that was me, I'm not listening to any women. I'm not listening to anybody. I'm going all out if I was Katie Reid, because I'd be like, hello, Leah Williamson, I'm gonna take Leah Williamson's place one day. You're mad. Are you
It'll
getting
take a
mugged?
little bit of time yet. She's on the right direction, but yeah, taking it once Leah comes back. Yeah,
Still going to be a while though. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the right direction. It's all
That
good.
hunger, I'm not as educated as you guys, and as I've openly admitted, I want to watch more. But the hunger seems to be just lacking in certain departments within the women at the moment. But you know, I agree with that, Art.
It does. 100%. It does. I agree with you there, Mark.
I grew up watching parts of the Arsenal women. I'm saying parts because it was only the odd game, and there was Scottish players, Scottish forwards, etc., and they were absolutely phenomenal.
Julie Fleeting, Julie Fleeting, for example,
and we were winning, dominating everything. And see now, I don't.
Absolutely.
The Pinky touched on that earlier. When you come to win a UCL, does the motivation drop? Does the standards need to be raised up where the hunger's there? So, like for the men, the hunger's there because they're winning nothing. Like, let's be frank. I could go into why they're not doing that, but do you know, it's
sure. Yeah. Well, we're not going to talk about Taylor Hines or something in the list.
Well, she needs to do her stuff in the Lionesses now, and that's on Saturday, and I probably will be watching it, actually. Yeah, let's see if she gets maybe not a start. I don't know, will she get a start? Because they're all crying out for someone in the left, but yeah, I certainly hope she gets game time. It's only a friendly, but that leads on to other things.
But what do you guys think? I wanted to get your thoughts about like the controversy around her no longer playing for Jamaica and now playing for England.
Oh, right. That's very interesting because, as best I can say, not that I followed the Reggae Girls because I'd be a liar, but I did listen to their head coach. I presume he's still their head coach, and I really liked what he had to say, considering that they're not up there like the Lionesses, like Spain, whatever. And I've also seen very recently that the door is still open because basically she started off with the under whatever's for Lionesses. Then she didn't get the senior call up. Suddenly, was it last year, I believe, whatever, she got the Jamaica call up, but it was a friendly, so it's all about the caps at this point, isn't it? So she was, and then of course Serena's come with the telephone call, and you're not going to turn down the Lionesses, next. Sorry, fact. And she does have a dual heritage, which I can kind of get because I'd be playing for wee Northern Ireland if I was a footballer, but whatever. It is what it is. Because I would be good enough for the Lionesses, but let's see how she does, and let's see where she goes, and hopefully Serena will. I think she will give her a chance, by what I can see. I really hope it works out for her. I think she's an exciting player. I certainly expect to see more of her with Arsenal, and I hope she can do really well with the Lionesses because she went through the youth academy, whatever you want to call it, and I hope she can carry that on. I think she's an exciting player, and also it'd be nice to see Will Moy get something as well because her loyalty. Because once again, people forget she's dual heritage. She could have played for Holland. She's half Dutch, but she's always given allegiance to the Lionesses.
Yeah. So, can I get Amar and Mark's opinion before I add my 2 cents? Because I think mine will be a bit of a controversial one.
Go on.
What did you want our opinions on? Sorry.
No, but the Taylor Hines thing. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it before I said what I said.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't say I know too much about it, to be fair. But I mean, she's chosen maybe to just play for England because she gets more opportunities than she does with Jamaica or something. I don't know. I guess that's why. That's all I know about it. I wouldn't say I know too much about it, to be fair.
Oh, I'm not. This is not Taylor Hines, but I do have an opinion on this, a very strong one. There is right across the game, men and women. There's so many players that can play for African teams that chose not to, where their heritage is, but they choose absolutely not to. And there's a number of factors on this for me. And I would point out my boy Bukayo Saka,
Yes.
obviously. But there's a hell of a lot more. Nigeria could actually be one of the best represented countries in the world with players who they could actually have like playing for them, but these players decide to play for England rather than the African countries. So I think there's a number of factors. One is infrastructure within these countries, which becomes down to Africa itself. Pinky, I'm not being
No.
disingenuous.
Say-
Comes down to the infrastructure within that country itself and the opportunities that they're giving them, and also comes down to. And I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand this because if Bukayo Saka was born in England, but he's obviously got a Nigerian background to him. So, and his heritage, his parents are Nigerian. I don't know where to sit with it. I really do not know where to sit with it. But I think that players are going for the better option of the better infrastructure, the better things that are around them, the more chance to win trophies, the more chance. Or do they see themselves as more English than what they do as seeing African? But African players are phenomenal. They're the most disciplined players that come into the UK that end up. I'm trying not to say this wrong. They're born in the UK, but they're brought up with African parents. But their African parents have got the best possible discipline, best way to bring them up, religious, cleanest way to bring them up, and their discipline levels. You know, these guys are turning up their A grades, are turning up for training an hour early. They're doing everything the coach tells them. They're full of respect, and they go and do their thing on the pitch. They're just like really so respectful in every possible way, and I can't find the correct word to say it. However, I just feel it comes down to African infrastructure. But these players, Bukayo Saka knows if he goes and plays for Nigeria, he ain't winning no World Cup. If he goes and plays for England, he's got the opportunity. And I'm sorry to say that, Pinky, but that's the way I see it.
Yeah, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, because I'm glad you mentioned Africa, because I was going to bring that perspective as an African, right? Like, I've had this conversation with my dad many times with many players. One of them being Nico Williams, who his brother I think plays for Ghana and he plays for Spain. And the simplest. Okay, let me just preface this by saying, players can choose whatever path they want. You only have one career. They're entitled to their decision. We need to respect their decision. I'm not here to say what players should or shouldn't do. I just want to put that out there, okay? But the way my dad explained it to me, right? He said to me, it depends on what you value most. Do you want to be a hero to few or a character to many? And what he meant by that was, in the context of Bunny Shaw, for example, when Jamaica qualified for the World Cup, she was praised as this hero, as the woman that put women's football in Jamaica on the map. Like, she's a hero in her country, right? They hold her to that standard because even though it's something like just qualifying, for Jamaica, it was a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, if Taylor Hines played for Jamaica, she would have a better chance as being remembered as one of the great, because of the Lionesses. Because the Lionesses have achieved a lot already without her, I don't think she's going to be remembered as much as she would if she played for Jamaica. That's a personal decision that she has to make. Like, she has to make that decision. And there's no wrong answer, because if you value being a hero to your people, that's good. Bunny Shaw, if you asked her, she'll probably tell you, oh, I don't care about trophies. I want to represent my people. I love my people. And fair play to her. That's wonderful, right? But if you ask Taylor Hines, she'll say, well, I want to win trophies. I want, like, even if I'm not going to be remembered as the great Taylor Hines, that like Chloe Kelly, who scored that winning penalty and all this and that. Like, at least I will have that privilege of having been a lioness and having that medal to show for it, right?
Do you know what
So
I
there's
was?
no wrong answer. Both of them are valid, but it just depends on what you value more. And same with
Yeah.
Nico Williams. Like, he values winning with Spain more than qualifying with Ghana and other sets, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Do you know what? See,
Sorry, can I just jump in there? More importantly, and I question my English heritage because I've got a little bit of other things going on in my heritage. But Taylor Hines was born in England. I'll be very blunt here. She's got a white mum. She's got a black dad. I don't know if he's actually born in Jamaica
She
or
wasn't. She was born in England.
Jamaican parents. So yes, she has that dual heritage, which is absolutely wonderful. But yeah, basically, she's got a chance to play for Lionesses. You can't knock her.
Yeah, and
no,
also
that's what we're saying. We're not knocking. See, the thing is, like, and see if you go back to like, and again, I'm like, I'm not trying to single out the women's game here. I'm trying to add the men's into this as well. I couldn't do it right now. I have my head blown off with work today, and it has been for the last week. But I could give you right now players in the world that could play for the likes of Ghana and Nigeria. And I promise you, if they played for them, they would be serious contenders for the World Cup.
Probably, yeah.
It's
probably.
like, and I'm not kidding. I'm not even joking. It's like it'd be stripping England of their players. It'd be stripping Holland. There's like various other countries that you'd be stripping all these players off. Where
Well, let's be blunt here. We've got Bukayo Saka. We've got Eze. Let me pronounce his name right.
Eze, yeah.
Noni. Maduki, is it?
Madueke, yeah. Madueke, yeah.
They could all play for Nigeria, but obviously they want to play for England.
yeah.
No disrespect to Nigeria.
But that's the thing that
fact.
Pinky's picking up, and I agree with Pinky on this because see Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, I don't know if he had the option of going somewhere else or not, but he's actually an African cult hero. I know there's been a lot of drama around coaches and stuff, but he's an absolute cult hero over there where they
DJ
worship him.
Drogba, Ivory Coast.
Exactly.
He's a hero, a god.
Exactly, a god, an absolute god. Where Bukayo Saka, when he finishes his England career, even if England go on to win the World Cup, will Bukayo Saka will be another name and a pawn on a list of players. It won't be this.
Possibly.
Like, honestly, see if they've done it for like Nigeria, Ivory Coast, etc. There'd be statues. They'd be honestly. I think Africa's shut down for a year, and they'd all be like having a party for a year. It's and they do have the quality players there that can't actually play for these countries. Unlike Scotland, we're just shit. We're just talking shit. So we don't have the luxury. We're trying to hope that a few Scottish old players have went over and met Brazilians and etc. We get their kids back over to play football for us one day. But Africa does have some really, honestly, massive quality players that play. So I just think that personally the players nowadays do look for that trophy, and I don't like. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but yeah, I agree with you, Pinky. I think that the loyalty factor should definitely be there.
Yeah. And again, I'll say it's up to them at the end of the day, because I would never want to force a player to represent any country, right? Like, some people, like, I have a friend who was born and raised in Zimbabwe, but she spent most of her childhood in South Africa, and she feels more South African than she does feel Zimbabwean. Like, when she goes back home, she doesn't have the connection she has when she comes to South Africa. So I would hate to put players in a position where they feel like they have to represent their motherland when they don't feel a connection to it. So that's why when it comes to like Bukayo Saka, I don't know how many times he's visited Nigeria, but like, I think he feels more English than Nigerian. So I would never make him feel terrible for choosing England. Absolutely not. At the end of the day, it is their choice. It is their right. And also, if you want to be honest, right? Even as you said, the infrastructure in Africa is very different to the one in Europe, right? But also, it's more competitive in Europe. So the fact that Bukayo Saka is competing at that level, it means he's also dealing with a high level of competition that he would if he was playing for Nigeria. Like if he went to the Nigerian squad, like no offense to the Nigerian players, but I feel like he would smoke most of them, right? He would ascend like immediately, right? Whereas in England, it's a lot more, especially because of the culture of football in England, it's a lot more harder. Like let's be honest.
Pinky, do you know something? I've had arguments again because I used to go into these Arsenal spaces and I was speaking, it's all a lot of people from Africa that are on them. And do England deserve players like this? Because look at the racism that's came against. I'm not trying to touch an awkward conversation, but why do they deserve players like that when they're from racist comments? Was Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, who was the third one that missed the penalties in the Euros on the final?
Sancho, I think.
Yeah, Jadon Sancho. Three of them. Why do England deserve players like this? So, and I'm not saying that because I'm Scottish, but it's just in general. So I'm going to try and put a bit of light on it.
You're saying because you're Scottish, Mark. You have an agenda against England.
Yeah.
You have an agenda.
It's not at all. I hate it. I actually hate it. So do they deserve to have these players, and do players who have like a different, like you've got an opportunity. See, Bukayo Saka, regardless of anything at all to do with his parents, was born in the UK. So he absolutely was born in England, deserves to play for England, end of story. But when you see what some of these fan bases do to the players, why would you not want to go back and represent the heritage of your origin? It's a hard one. It's a difficult one for me, Pinky. It really is.
Well, unfortunately, and I am going to call this out because I find it so abhorrent, and predominantly it's on that blasted X, which I have a more of a hate relationship whenever I do a love. But we've got all these toxic, horrible, racist people who just say the most horrible, nasty things. And I thought, can you just get over yourself? You've got fantastic players who choose to represent England. And I could say that about whether you're black, white, whatever your background is, but you happen to be born here or you have a parent, whatever, because let's be blunt here, you get it, Mark, I get it from my heritage. You can have a grandparent, and the likes of Scotland, Northern Ireland,
Absolutely.
even Wales, we're a bit desperate. Fact.
Yeah,
Next. Whereas England, yeah, we're blessed. Next. That's a general line. But it's that hate and that horrible, and it is racist. It's just so horrible. And I so admire these young, and I will call it out, young black players who can stand up to this and let your feet do the talking and shut these stupid people up.
See, my question, I raised this and I've had arguments on spaces regarding it. The newspapers and the media are the narrative behind it. So, so I'm putting it back to Pinky. I'm putting it back to you. If you were born in the UK, but your parents are South African, why would you want to go and play for freaking England when you've got an opportunity to go back and be an absolute hero in your own country, where you're not going to get this racist stuff against you, regardless of the infrastructure, regardless of that?
Now, again, I'm not a footballer, so I'm obviously speaking in hypothetical, right?
Rugby then, rugby.
Okay, well, in rugby, I think South Africa's more successful. So obviously, I would play for South Africa. No offense. But if I was in that situation, I think I would have to ask myself, right? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Again, maybe it's because I can't imagine myself being anything other than South African. But for me, I would love, like, some people don't have the opportunity to visit their African or their native roots. And so they try their best to find a connection, right? Like, I feel as though if I was born in the UK, born and raised there, and I knew nothing about South Africa, I would be so desperate to find a connection with that country that I would probably say, no, I want to represent South Africa because I want to have that connection with my parents, for example. But that's just me at the end of the day. It wouldn't be so much about the racism in England and whatnot, because let's be honest, there's racism in South Africa. Like, people forget that.
Of course,
Like,
of course, of course.
apartheid and
we
stuff
get
like that. Like, we still have a Dutch regime and all that. Like, there's racism in South Africa too. But for me,
Oh no, let's call it out for what it is. Afrikaners next. Yeah, I know.
whoa, let's not get too political.
Sorry, I do know.
Political. But like,
Let's not do
for me,
that.
for me, it wouldn't be so much about racism here and there. For me, it would just be, I would want to represent the country of my parents, to honor my parents, because I want to have that connection. But again, that's just me. I can't speak on behalf of Taylor, Bukayo, and them. That's why I say I respect their decision regardless. And if you ask Bukayo Saka that question, I'm sure he would have an answer for you too. If you ask Taylor Hines that question, she would have an answer as well. At the end of the day, we can speak of hypotheticals, but they are the ones that are in this hot seat. And I can see both sides at the end of the day. But personally, yeah, I would definitely choose my native country. Like, just saying, I don't know.
Yeah. It's difficult. I mean, I'm like, I tried to get my head around it because I was obviously born in Scotland, raised in Scotland, and I would never play if I was ever good enough. I would only play for Scotland. So it is hard for me to say, like, what's the best option that's out there, totally. So, but there is these two sides that you do have to, and players should be educated in as well, because once you get that first cap, you can't turn back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come out and say, I'm going to give you your first cap, and you'll never play for England again. And there you are. You could have represented like an African country for 200 caps and being an absolute hero, but you might only get one cap for England and never play again. So I just think they possibly need more education, and also we need to burn our media in the UK because they're absolutely horrendous. Racist bigots. That's what I could put them down to. I've never bought a newspaper in years, so I don't intend to. Yeah, no, I don't at all. Honestly, I hate them.
Yeah. But you have to look at Morocco, right? Like, Morocco keep most. I don't know of a Moroccan that plays for like Spain or Germany. Most of them, like Hakimi, the bloke that played for Man United, most of the Moroccan players that play in Europe professionally, they represent Morocco in the World Cup and in these tournaments. And that's why Morocco went so far in the World Cup. They were the only African team to reach the quarterfinals, no? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so
well,
they
Nigeria
know.
done it as well. They done it quite. They didn't go
Like
deep
years
in
ago.
USA. I think it was '92. They got to the quarterfinals against Italy, and Italy were down to 10 men. Roberto Baggio. I'm showing my age here, but they went really further point. But the what needs to happen is if African players or Nigerian, and let's break it down, not say African, let's just break it down to each segment. But if I use Nigerian for example, if Nigerian players are coming over and earning 100, 200, 300,000 pounds a week, start putting it back into your country to develop the next set of players come through so the infrastructure gets better, and then players will maybe go. Yeah.
That's why you have to give credit to Sadio Mane, because he did build a foundation for Senegal. Like he really pushed. Like even now, he's using a lot of his money to uplift communities in his country.
Do you know what?
And that's really why he deserved that AFCON win. He fully deserved it because he is trying to put his.
My ex-wife
Mm.
does not watch football, right? She does not watch football at all. And she said, Mark, did you see this story? And I was like, what story? That Liverpool player. And I was like, no, what? It said Sadio Mane came off the Liverpool bus and he had an iPhone 7 and it was all cracked screen. Like the screen was cracked and everything was cracked. And the papers picked up on it and they were asking him, why have you got a cracked screen? You play for Liverpool, you get a new one. It's like, it works. Why do you need anything else? And
Oh,
that
do
was
you know
him.
what? I've read about him. He is
And
such a handsome,
that was at the height of his power range. And I
yeah,
thought, do you know what, bro?
uttermost
Above,
respect. Money, he doesn't need these
exactly.
stupid gadgets. Next. Yeah, he
Aubameyang's
gives
turning
back
up
to
at
his
Arsenal
people. Total
in a
respect. Yeah, get that.
Aubameyang's turning up at Arsenal in a £350,000 Ferrari. And then here's Mane just like an iPhone 7 in 20, I don't know what it was, 2022 or something like that, with a cracked screen. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Pure
Yeah, I mean,
humble.
honestly, it's at the end of the day, all opinions on this are valid at the end of the day, because as we said, it's always going to be a touchy topic. Like when we're talking about race, sexuality, religion, it's always because it's people topics. It's not political topics. Like a lot of people say, oh, it's just politics. No, it's people. Like these conversations are about people, and that's why it's always going to be sensitive, because everybody has some kind of affiliation, whether it's your nationality, again, race, sexuality, religion, all of that. It's always going to be a personal topic. But I'm glad we had it, and we were very open and all that. I'm really glad we had that.
Well, do you
But
know
that's
what? Sorry, can I just jump in there? More importantly, political leaders, let's have these open conversations. Let people speak and let's bring love into the world, because I don't like all this hate. Next. People are
No, I just, Ange, do you know something? I'm glad that Pinky's on, and thank you, Ange, because you're hosting tonight, and
well,
I
yeah.
appreciate. I have no, you're hosting tonight, and you gave the opportunity for this conversation to happen, and I feel, for me personally, Pinky, and I hope you don't get offended at this. I feel, as a white person trying to have this conversation, it almost there there's a stigma where racists could come into it, even though you're just trying to have a conversation. I want to be educated. I want to be educated on this. I honestly, I'm banned off most Arsenal spaces as a racist because I don't like them using the M word and talking the way that they do. I don't like it. I think they're racist amongst themselves. And I've always tried to stop that happening. They don't like my opinion. I've shouted back at them and I'm banned off of most of them. But it's great to have a platform, and Pinky, it's great to actually have an adult conversation on it. It's really good to have an adult conversation.
Well,
Well
more
done, Ange.
importantly, we are all brought together. And I've known you for a wee time now, Mark. I've known Pinky for a bit longer. And we're all adults, human beings. And we're actually all three of us are from different backgrounds. And we meet in the middle, albeit through Arsenal. But I think more importantly, we've gone beyond Arsenal. It brought us together, and that's a really nice thing. And we're doing this show about Arsenal, men and women, or sorry, women and men, get it right. But yeah, we're just people. And that for me is the biggest factor. We're a human race, end of. And why is all this hate going on? It's awful.
yeah.
Do you know what? Sorry, Pinky, you go.
No, I was gonna say that what she said about having these conversations can invite racism, homophobia, and all that. And I'm bringing in all the stuff, right? Because of homophobia and stuff. And the reason, and I think you touched it very nicely, that you want to learn, but every time you try to have this conversation, it's always like you have these bad eggs coming in, right? And so I think intention in conversation is always the best way. Like I know a lot of people who are very like I don't want to say sensitive, but they are deeply impacted by conversation, right? Like you said, Afrikaans, you mentioned something about Afrikaans, right? Like I when I was learning Afrikaans in school, my mom had like a literal panic attack because she obviously has like trauma from those days. But it was hard for me to explain to her that no, it's just a language. Like we're not forced to learn it. It's just a language. Like nobody's punishing us if we don't do it. It's just a subject. But she couldn't wrap her head around that because of the trauma. So again, I can't have these kind of conversations with her because she experienced things that I couldn't even think of experiencing. I'm privileged to live in a yes, there's racism, but like it's not as hectic as it was.
Not as awful.
Thank God for Nelson
Sorry,
Mandela.
can I just say,
Nelson Mandela was my hero.
But I grew up knowing that white Afrikaner people predominantly weren't very nice. All right, my history isn't that good, but that's what I grew up with as an English person.
And the thing is, right, I feel bad for the young generations of Afrikaners because I went to school with a lot of Afrikaans girls, right?
Yeah. Well,
some of them were
friends.
awesome.
You
like
showed me your
people,
friends,
Yeah. We have like they have this history hanging over their heads, and a lot of them during our history lessons, they were so uncomfortable. They were like, "Oh my god, like no, I don't want to." Like they were very shy, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, like I don't want to talk about it and stuff." And it's like you don't have to shy away from it. At the end of the day, it's our history. It's a bad part of the history, but you have to address it. There's no point in like trying to like some people will say, "Oh, apartheid was 30 years ago. Let it go. Move on." It's like no, address it. Talk about it. Because at the end of the day, you might not know the various things, the various ways where we might have internalized racism or internalized homophobia, misogyny, and all that. So we need to address that. The fact that you're afraid to address it shows that there's some underlying fear that you have, and that's not good. The more you speak about something, the more honest you are about something, the more you can actually progress from it. That's what I believe wholeheartedly. Some people don't agree with that. Some people are saying, oh, the past is the past, leave it in the past. And it's like, okay, that's up to you. But for me, I think going through it, talking through it, and getting through the difficult conversation is the key to a better society. But again,
I think I absolutely agree with that wholeheartedly, and it's probably not one to do on a YouTube channel, but I've always wanted to have this conversation. I'm 50-year-old, and I've always wanted to have a conversation of trying to understand the difference in cultures and the offensiveness that can come out. I try not to. See, me personally as a person, and I'm not like one individual. There's millions of people like me. We try. Every human being has a beautiful side to them. Every human being. We just get wear and tear the older that we get, but there is a bit of wear and tear. But we are beautiful people, and we don't mean to speak or talk to someone and be offensive or try to be offensive. And there's billions of us out there like that. For me, I'm scared to approach conversation. I tried this like 7 years ago because I'm not very well educated in this at all. And I tried to reach out to him. He was an ex-football player, and I reached out to him and I said, I'd love to have this conversation. I'd love to have this conversation. What do you know what I'm trying to not? And even now I'm struggling because I know in my head what I'm trying to say, but I'm struggling to get it out. What is it that I could actually say to you that is not going to be freaking offensive? Because see, right now, there is so much politics, there's so much crap going around the whole Africa, the whole around black people, the whole wars, everything else that's there. But you know what? See, the biggest war is the people that use any kind of language whatsoever against white people as well. And to try and make that make sense, and I know that's probably not making sense. Right now, I could have a conversation with you, and we can talk. See, if I said anything at all that was even slightly diplomatic to you, Pinky, you would come back and say, "Well, Mark, possibly this because you're well educated and you're balanced." If I say that to other people that are from other nations, they'll come back and say that I'm racist. So how
Yeah,
do
I
we
mean,
get? So how do we get to the bottom line where it's actually it's not freaking racist? It's not you guys stop like. I was accused of being racist because I honestly, and I'm going to make a joke of this because it's actually funny, right? And this is why I shy away from the conversation. What's my favourite food? Curry. What kind of curry do you like? I like Indian. I was called racist for saying it was an Indian curry.
Oh, well, that's bloody stupid. End of.
okay,
It
that's
is fucking stupid.
weird.
It is fucking stupid. But this is
And
why
sorry,
you back
anybody
it with.
who's tuning in, call me out for saying that, but sorry, I have a lot of Asian friends, and
Yeah.
it is a generalisation.
Actually, sorry, I said that the wrong way around. I actually said, they said, what's your favourite food? And I said Indian. They said, how did you know just call it curry? Because I prefer Indian curry.
Yeah, I
It's not
mean, to
like
be fair,
it's like see, this is the type of shit that overshadows me touching into the real depths of what is actually going on across here because I shy away from it. It's like, what's the point? I don't understand. I'll walk away from it.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, as I said, like on the one hand, I completely understand why you would be cautious of that because you're fearful of this, that, and the third. But there are some things that I'm ignorant of, right? Just because I'm a black woman doesn't mean I cannot be ignorant of things. Like there was a time where I had a friend who had a disability, right, a special needs person, and I said something, and I had no idea how blatantly ableist it was. I can't remember what it was exactly, but she came to me and she said, "Why did you say that?" And my first reaction was to be defensive, right? Because I think that's the first reaction. We're defensive, but then over time, they were right. Like I shouldn't have said that, and you have to kind of address that uncomfortable thing of why did I say that, and then you get to the
All
root of
done
okay,
things at
going forward,
times.
I'm not going to say that because now, yeah. But with the Indian thing, right? Honestly, I don't know who you were talking to. Sometimes, don't forget, right? Sometimes they do that to rattle you. Like I think it also depends on your audience. Know your audience. Who are those people you're speaking to? If it's just a random bloke on the street and is like, "Oh, what's your favorite food?" and you're like Indian, and he's like, "Oh, you racist." Why do you care what a random bloke thinks of you, right?
Well,
I
yeah,
think
get
these
over yourself.
conversations should be had with people that you care about and or people that you respect and you think, okay, I want to have a conversation with you, right? If it's a random person who's protesting and like flipping, then you shouldn't even be engaging in those because that's not the environment to have those conversations anyway. When people are riled up and marching in numbers and stuff, the best thing to do is just to kind of lay low, take a break, step aside, and
I
then
know,
when
but
that
that's
smoke dies
Oh my
down, you have
goodness, Pinky, I never go on those goddamn marches next. I don't agree with any of them. I don't need freedom of speech. I can do it on here.
you know what was do you know what was one of the best ones? And I know, guys, we're still live, and I appreciate that you're actually live. One of the best ones. My son's here right now, Jack, and
How are
Ange.
you,
This,
Jack?
yeah, he's good. He's good, Ange. He's just in the bedroom, and Pinky, Ange was in on this because Ange works in a
After
certain
school club.
sector.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
children.
after school with children and stuff. My son's got sensory issues. He's not been diagnosed, but sensory issues. And I remember I was driving down and we joined the green room and Angie was in there, Effie was in there, Richard was in there, I think. There was a few of us in there and Des was there. He said, guys, I'm really sorry to ask this question. And I felt the apprehension on Des for doing it. And he was like, I don't understand it.
Mm.
And he said, I'm really, really sorry. He was panicking a bit in his voice. You could hear it.
Mm.
I'm really, really sorry to ask the question. I don't understand it. And
Mm.
because Ange works in that sector and I've got a son and Richard's got a son as well,
Yeah.
that have it, we're like, nah, bro, it's okay. Ask these freaking questions. I don't know the freaking answer. I'm a parent.
Mm.
Richard doesn't have the answer. He's a parent. It's okay to have them. So it's that confidence to be able to come up. But I seen from Des's point as well that Des wanted to be educated on it. He wanted to understand it, if that makes sense. But it was, he felt that alone was an awkward conversation to approach. But it was a very good one. And in my opinion, it was probably one of the best green rooms up the Hot Ranch.
Yeah. We're a very inclusive family. We talk. We fall out now and again, don't we, Mark? Next, but we come back. We come back.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Honestly, I can't believe the Taylor Hines thing led to this awesome conversation. I'm glad we had it.
No, I did.
And I'm glad we saved it for last.
And isn't she a beautiful young lady? Oh, she does a good photo shoot, doesn't she?
I can't say that she's a beautiful. I couldn't say that she's a beautiful young lady. I'd get called a pervert, so I've got one for us.
No, I know you. Oh, she's a good-looking girl. We can't deny.
She is a good-looking girl.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm blushing. So late in the evening. It's almost 11 on my side.
Oh my gosh, yes, because you're an hour ahead. And are we still on there?
Yeah, we are still on
there. Thank you so much. Pinky, you've got to come back to us.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
Oh, please do.
I'll make myself available.
We won't do one next week because we've got an international break. We'll give everybody a break. I don't know what the other guys are doing. But the week after, we're back in WSL. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And hang on a sec, because one thing I haven't announced. The next match will be Sunday the 2nd at 12 o'clock Sky, Leicester away. Well, flipping it, if we can't do them next with some conviction.
Yeah, we should.
Leicester ladies.
I'm hoping so. Stina, get sharp with your goals. I mean, hopefully Emily Fox is
we'll pray, just pray at this point. Emily Fox, goodness.
I'm hoping Russo has a good international break. Get her
very much so, because she'll be overplayed, and quite rightly so, like Bukayo Saka. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they get overplayed next.
Can I ask you guys live on air one question?
Go on.
And both of you individually answer it, right? Not answer it together, just individually.
Right.
Do you think being UCL champions, people are coming for you?
Yes.
Elaborate.
Well,
no, I'll let Pinky do that.
Yes, because we did the impossible, and I think we rode on being underdogs.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, it's reconnecting now. Hold on.
Okay.
It came.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. We could hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to the Champions League thing, they're coming after us because one, we won, but also I think Barcelona and Lyon in particular is trying to prove a point that, you know, Barcelona, when we beat them, what did Fridolina Rolfo say? She said Barcelona made it easier for Arsenal, basically saying that we got lucky and they were just lazy and slacking off, when in reality, we made it difficult for Barcelona. So I think they're trying to prove a point and say, listen, Arsenal, you may have won. It was a cute story, but overall, we are the top dogs here and we'll take it from here. I think that's the point that Lyon and Barca are trying to prove. So in that regard, yes, we are definitely the targets. And somebody,
do you not think in the WSL is happening as well? Sorry.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think with somebody mentioned a point, right? They said winning the Champions League was the best and worst thing that could have happened to Renee Slagers, because on the one hand, it's the best thing because now she managed to achieve in 5 months what we haven't been able to achieve in 18 years. Great. But now her standards, her expectations have gone from the ground to the ceiling. And now she has to balance that. And that's why I'm not going to go for her head too quickly. Yes, she's making mistakes. And yes, we question her about her favoritism and all that. But listen, she's in a unique position. Not many managers will get into a job, do something crazy like winning a Champions League, and then having to still inject an identity and a formation and a way of playing. So that's why I'm not calling for Renee's head. Like, there are some people online, and again, the internet,
they're doing it.
the internet is a cesspool anyway. We all know that, right? But so many people are like, oh, Renee out, this, that, oh, she's overrated. It's like, hang on, calm down. Let's take a breathe in, breathe out, relax. Okay, she's gonna figure it out.
100%, and I agree with that. What a amazing show, and Andreas is just saying that to you as well, Ange.
Well, more importantly, I've been touting after this a bit like Righty. I touted after this young woman. We got her on the show. Thank you.
I think you're here to stay. You're here to stay.
Thank you.
And Andreas, I hope you get so well soon, bro. I'm not sure what's wrong with you, but get the painkillers kicking in, bro, and you're absolutely fantastic for the show as well. But Andreas, you're building a legacy here.
I'm trying. Well, more importantly, excuse me, Arsenal women, you need to build a legacy. Because, sorry, can I just finally say, I don't know, still watching, but we were going to talk about the men. And I'm going to be really bad here. I don't particularly get overexcited about Champions League men. But I've got to say, God, did I enjoy that match I watched? That was so good. Oh, it was flipping brilliant. I loved it. And Victor, God, did I want that? And he got a brace. I was so happy for him.
I
didn't even know.
Don't get me swearing. Don't get me swearing,
I was so happy for him. And Big Gabby, and I even voted for Victor on it. I was so tempted to vote for my Big Gabby, but I voted for Victor. I thought that was
what's wrong there, Mark? Or what are you groaning and moaning about?
Oh man, I just see right now. I'm coming on camera again. See right now. Jesus. Like I've suffered. Not just me. Millions of us have suffered, and we are not suffering anymore. Drink it.
Listen, good. I said it to you, Mark. I'm gonna tell you guys something. I have a big family, right? Like my dad has many children. Don't ask. It's a Zulu thing. We have isiZulu culture, and it's very normal for men to have a plethora of children. Not so much in our generation. I think from Gen X onward, Zulu people are not having that many kids. But my dad's a baby boomer, so he was all in the kids department, right? And I was raised in a household of Liverpool and Manchester United fans as the only Arsenal fan. Do you have any idea the psychological, emotional, spiritual torment, suffering that I've had
to do that anymore? You don't have to do that anymore.
I do, Mark. Until we win something, I can't, because my
this
dad,
season right now.
I was born in 2001, right? I was in my diapers when the Invincibles happened. So when I'm debating with my dad about Arsenal, he's like, "How would you know? You weren't even thinking that you can't talk about the Invincibles. Do you even remember Thierry Henry? No, you don't. Shut your mouth. You would always tell me that. You'd be like, no, you only remember Ozil, Alexis Sanchez, Olivier Giroud. You only know those players, the worst side of Arsenal. That's all you know. You can't talk about Dennis Bergkamp. You can't talk. I have suffered.
I can imagine, Pinky. You don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to suffer anymore.
New generation. And sorry, what is Emerson banging on about? Mark, put Ange on the naughty step. What have I done now? What have I done now? Have I talked about certain good-looking players next who happen to predominantly be Brazilian next?
You don't have. You want to go up in the microphone chat. That's a different conversation. But you know what? You don't have to suffer anymore. See, right now, the Arsenal men, Ange, since we're on Arsenal men, and you're getting me. watch your language. I was going to say juices one, but I don't think that's appropriate for the ladies' show. You're getting my blood going massively. We are building a team to dominate. We are not building a team to win an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, one Premier League, and we don't see another one for another 10 years. We are building to dominate, and we are doing it. And it is happening this freaking season. I could go into why we've not won an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup over the last 5 years. I could give you a breakdown on that. I could talk on the Arsenal men constantly. We are a way to dominate English football. And so, Pinky, your suffering is over. It's gone. It's gone. Dad.
Until
Yeah, tell
we
your
have
dad
that
be quiet.
trophy.
Love
Until we have the trophy, I can't say anything. Listen, let me
Don't
tell you
say
something.
anything.
Well, yeah, get the silverware. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me say
That does talking.
Yeah. Let me
Sorry, can I just jump in here? I'm an absolute fossil, relic, dinosaur, whatever you want to call me, but I love my FA Cup. And as far as I'm aware, both for the women and the men, excuse me, they are holders of the FA Cup still. I would love it. Oh, they can get whatever else, but I'd love them to get another FA Cup. Come on now. I love the FA Cup.
Pinky, see, just before you go, right, and I will let you land, right? Just right now, cook your dad the best breakfast, the best lunch, the best dinner that he could have. Do it now. And do it with grace. Just do it with a smile. See, at the end of the season, you won't cook no more. He'll be doing it for you. He'll be doing it for you. He'll be doing it for you, Pinky. I swear to God, you'll wake up every morning, orange juice, cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever breakfast that you want. Dad, I'm hungry at lunchtime. He's bringing the food. He's bringing the food. The brothers, you've got loads of them. Brothers, Man United fans, Liverpool fans.
You know what I'm about to say, because the working environment I work in, I have and some of them are actually Nigerian, Ghanaian heritage, some are second generation, but that really sounds like something that would be back in the day from these wonderful cultures, Mark. Next, that's too funny. The breakfast, the dinner, I love it.
I would do that. I would also do that. I'd be putting a big smile on my face, thinking, do you know what? I know what's about to come around this corner. I know the lottery result. I know the lottery result. It's happening this season. You could have it. All of you. I cook them all breakfast. Big smile. Come on. You guys have been cooking for me for the next 5 years.
Listen, anyway,
girls, I think we better wrap this one up.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. Just one. Yeah, it's 10:30 on my side, right? But just one thing, right? Obviously, you guys have seen the best of Arsenal, but you guys have to look at it from my perspective, right? I haven't seen it, like I haven't experienced it, right? So for me, it seems impossible, right? Like when Sir Alex took 7 years to win the Premier League with Man United, and all of a sudden he was dominating throughout. If that's what Arsenal is going to become, then by all means, all the suffering, literally my entire lifetime, is literally just been suffering. Okay, that's literally it, right? And the worst part is I don't have anybody to blame. I did this to myself. As I said, Liverpool and Man United fans. And my dad tried to bully me out of it. I look back and I think to myself, man, my dad used to say such bad things to me when we were watching football. And I know now he was trying to bully me out of supporting Arsenal. Because you know where it started. I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I remember asking my dad, because I used to hate football actually, because it used to take such a hold over the household. My dad's a very strict. Well, he was not anymore, but he was very. This is my house, my TV. We watch what I watch, and the thing we all watched was football, right? Fine. But I used to hate that because I wanted to watch my Powerpuff Girls. I wanted to watch my SpongeBob, but I couldn't watch it.
Oh, bless you. Pinky, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, right, because Effie's 28, and despite what you're saying about the power, she's
So that's the thing. So to make it interesting for myself, I used to just be the biggest op, right? When whatever team Liverpool was playing, I would hope that team would win, right? And for some reason, during that time, Arsenal was that team that just never failed me. I would be like, yeah, this team is a team in the red and white. They're a good side. And on top of that, and my dad used to hate that. He's like, no, you must support Liverpool is the team you support. And I just couldn't get on board with that, right? And the one day my dad caught on the red flag, he was like, there's something wrong here. Because I was asking him, what does Liverpool mean? And he was like, no, Liverpool's a place. It doesn't mean anything. It's the place in the UK. And I was like, okay, what does Manchester mean? What does Man mean? And he said, no, it's also a place in England. Like, it is what it is. And I was like, okay, what does Arsenal mean? And he said, actually, and I said, no, I said, where is Arsenal in England then? And he said, oh, no, Arsenal means a weaponry, like a field of weapons. And I was like, that is cool. Like, that's such a cool name. Like, and ever since then, my dad, oh no, I shouldn't have told her that because now she thinks it's cool. I was like, 5 years old. But yeah, and the women's team cemented my love for this club. So yeah, I never regretted it, but I can't lie. Suffering.
Do you know what's funny, Pinky? Do you know what's funny, right? It's not just your age and or culture or anything like that about televisions. And this is a funny story, and I can laugh now about it. I couldn't previous, but my marriage broke up, and I ended up staying at my mum and dad's place, and it's like they've got a bungalow, and there's 2 televisions in the house. Now, you don't go after my mum's TV at all. It's on from 7 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night. She's watching what she wants to watch. Even if she's not watching it, she's watching it. You know, you just do not mess with mum's TV at all. So you have to go to the bedroom to get to Dad's TV. So I'm in the bedroom. We're watching TV. And me and my dad, now I'm 50-year-old. Me and my dad are sitting there, and he's a Dundee United fan. So he's watching Scottish football. And he's like, he watched his first half of a Dundee United game. And I said, switch over, Arsenal are playing Chelsea. And he's like, what? I said, switch over, Arsenal playing Chelsea. He said, but Dundee United are playing. I'm like, who gives a fuck about Dundee United? I'm like, Arsenal are playing Chelsea. Like, switch his fucking telly over. The police were almost phoned. Ended up, my mum went to bed early and gave me the living room TV so I could sit and watch a game. And I apologise to my parents. Honestly, they'll never watch me a podcast that I'm on. I apologise to you wholeheartedly. That tantrum, that outdoor that night, I'm not watching Dundee United against Aberdeen and Arsenal are playing Chelsea. So, yeah, it's not a culture thing. When your parents take a TV, they take a TV. It's simple as.
Yeah. But I've never regretted my decision. So, and I'm proud of making the decision because, again, nobody else in my family made that decision. I'm the only one. And so, and I'm also the youngest in my family as well. So it's like another thing, like I chose my own path and I'm really happy about that. I really do. They frustrate me sometimes, but I love it.
Sorry to interrupt. It's an interesting concept. And I think German Andreas, he and Mark picked up on it on one of our shows that the Arsenal found him. Well, actually, as a wee young girl, and it was Super Mac, Malcolm McDonald, and the round neck. I've always been in love with the round neck Arsenal shirt. And that's what attracted to me Arsenal at a young age and a rather good looking player. I did also really like the wee young Northern Irish man, but he played for the wrong club next. So that was the end of that. That's part of my heritage, is what it is. And it took me many, many years to come to the Arsenal, i.e. my daughter's dad. And I started watching them and I split up and I really fell in love with the club. I fell in love with X amount of players, like we fall in love with the players now, next. And when I split up with my daughter's dad, I thought, and I actually did this real self-evaluation, and to put it bluntly, excuse the language, why the fuck am I following Arsenal? And I thought, because actually I've invested in this and I get the club. And more importantly, I had, not like we can follow the women now, but the likes of Kelly Smith, Rachel Yankee, all that does. Yeah. So I was there. I've really found my way back with the women. That's why I'm so passionate about the women and so thankful that I can go to the games. I can watch them on whatever, televised, whatever. But the men as well. And I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Mikel, but compared to what we had, we've got fantastic players. We've got a real squad, players that truly get each other. And do you know what? I really wasn't, when we had the transfers in the summer and there was a whole hype about the striker, I really, really didn't get involved. I've been there, done it, couldn't be asked. And something about Victor drew me to him. And I thought, yeah, I get him. Couldn't tell you why. And I've just watched him, and yeah, he got his brace. That is brilliant. But he's such a team player. He's really gelled with that team, and I like that. And his time, I think he'll be good. I really do. He'll be good.
And you know something? I called it out. Like, see, when you're playing a low block, and I've done podcasts, so it's not like I'm speaking nonsense. I've done podcasts. I can share them. I done a summer transfer window where I didn't want Victor Gyökeres because I didn't feel Victor Gyökeres coming into an Arsenal side, the way it's set up, would break down the whole block. And Arsenal face low blocks. So I thought Sesko would be better because it crosses into the box.
Yeah, no, I was there.
I've said this constantly. But what I've said since is I'm glad I've got him because I didn't see the space that it's creating for the wingers, because no longer are people concentrating on our wingers and doubling up there. They're concentrating on him and trying to suffocate him, and the wingers are getting the joy. And it's absolutely fantastic, Ange. I love it. But I also said, and I've genuinely said this, when it comes to playing in Europe, teams won't set up like that against him. And last night he scored 2 goals, and it proved me right. And I'm over the course of the season, it will prove me right. But Pinky, I could only say one thing to you before we close off, because there's no way going 2 hours. I could speak for an hour, 3 hours. So this conversation has been amazing.
Yeah, we're legends, aren't we?
But do you know what? You've only suffered. You've only suffered, and you've never seen the good and the bad. See, when you've seen the good, then you have to go through the bad, and you've not seen any good in it again. It's even harder. So, as an older fan, I would say just believe. I know for a fact we're going to dominate the English Premier League.
We're going to have a good run. We're going to have a good run with the men and the women. The women are going to bounce back. Keep the faith.
Yeah.
The men, yeah.
I think.
It's all good.
Do you know what? See, personally, I think this be the men. We finished 5th and almost got Champions League football, and we lost out to Newcastle and Tottenham. We got beaten in the final games. It was heartbreaking. However, it was a season too early. Then we came second in the Premier League. We were a season too early. We were achieving above our belt. We are still a season too early. This season is not that season to be too early. See, for the women, unfortunately, what I'm seeing in my perspective, I think you won the Champions League too freaking early. You need to build.
Oh, do you know what? That's a really good point. But there's a but coming. When do you win it?
You take it when it's there. But it's,
Yeah.
I just think for
But
where the,
you know what? Yeah, I get that.
it's
I do
just
get
maybe
that.
just a little bit too early for the women to do that. And that's maybe why you guys are speaking about Katie McCabe and etc. tonight, and like in these issues. The brown points, I loved it. This has been one of the best podcasts that I
Oh,
listened
pleasure.
to
Thank you.
and tuned into. So I thank both of you massively for it.
Can I just say on a final note, a certain Spanish player, Bob Matty, if you're watching, keep the faith, come to the Arsenal, you'll be happy, girl. Next. Whoop. Gotta be done. We need her. We need her.
I wouldn't complain about having. I wouldn't complain
Of course you
having
wouldn't.
her, but let me just say,
Go
I don't know
on.
if we don't or whatever, but I think she's a household boss and name. But I have to
Oh,
say,
hang on.
her English has been very good lately.
Well, do you know what I mean? Next, yeah, it is what it is.
Just
Yeah,
hope the
see, this is where we go.
scums
We pick up on these things.
don't
Yep, we
beat
know.
us to it. If
Just
she's
don't go to
gonna
that evil
come to
Chelsea.
England,
Horrible.
at
I
least
think
be.
Pinky's lagging a bit. Pinky, I think you're lagging.
She is. She's done so well, bless her. She's done so well. I'm personally going to campaign in South Africa, sort their
Yeah,
electricity
you lost
out.
me.
It's bad enough over here. Bless them. No, Pinky, thank you so much. I'm so pleased we could do this, and we're going to do many more. Thank you.
Pinky, where can people find you?
Twitter,
I'll sort that out. Don't worry
Instagram,
about it.
She Aficionado. My
Yep.
handles are at the Girl Gaffer. So it's She Aficionado, the Girl Gaffer.
The Girl Gaffer.
Yep. Yeah, don't worry. We'll sort that out. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Anybody who's tuned in, thank you. Please tune again. We'll be back, not next week, the week after, back for WSL. Hopefully Lionesses will do something nice. Whoop, it's only friendly. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.